How much should I offer on Poshmark? I feel like this is a question that whether you're new or you're a veteran, we're constantly asking ourselves. And I feel like there's also a science to it. So let us talk about this. Hey guys, Holland here from Where the Helicopter Bear Meets the Papa Bear. It's the Helicopter Bear, and if you are new here, do the thing with the fingers, hit all the buttons, like and subscribe, hit the bell icon. Right now I am having a little contest that to get to 500 subscribers. Sorry guys, I am a little bit sick, so my voice is in and out, but to get to 500 subscribers, I'm giving away these Jordans Retro 5s. They have really amazing comps, and all you have to do is hit that subscribe, bell icon, like, and you're automatically entered in. But let us get into the meet and greet. What is it? Meet and greet? You know what I'm talking about. Let's get into the video. So, how much should I offer on Poshmark? Let's break down the science of how to get to that point on what to offer. Number one, when you're getting an item is make sure you know the comps of this item. And what I mean by comps like that, make sure you know what they've sold for. And I have a video that I go in and talk about comps and how I, figure out comps and stuff. I'll put it in the bottom thingies below. But yes, make sure you know what comps you're dealing with. And the next thing is ask yourself, is it worth it to sell this item? So say for instance, you're at a thrift store and stuff like that, and you're looking at an item, think to yourself, is it worth it? And what I mean by that is, once you look at the comps, how much are you gonna make versus how much are you gonna spend? Because some people are like, oh my God, I sold this expensive thing for like 90 bucks. And I'm like, but how much did you pay for it? And they're like, oh yeah, it was just like 70 bucks. And I'm like, yeah, no. I have a rule of thumb that I personally like to make it worth my time, I have to make double or triple what I actually bought it for. If not, I feel like it's not going to be worth my time if it's not at least double, So if I pay for an item that is like $6, the lower the cost, or like if I pay for an item that's $6, I at least want to make 20 or so to make it worth my time. And that's just a rough number because I'm about to go into more of the science of the offer and stuff. So to make it worth your time, what are some of the factors? One of the factors you have to include is, it's not just, what are the comps, how much it's going to sell for. You also have to include that Poshmark takes their fee. And remember, if it's $15 and above, Poshmark takes a 20% off of there. So whenever you're thinking about an item, make sure you also gauge in like, okay, this item, I got it for $6. It is selling for, it has sold, not selling, it has sold for roughly around 30 bucks. When Poshmark takes their, their percentage off of that, that's what, like $6? That means you're making like 24 bucks. But then also, if you're going to give like shipping discounts, you're going to have to deduct that number as well. Think about that. And then another thing you have to think about is, what I mean by is it worth your time is, say for instance with shoes and stuff, I have to clean shoes. If you're trying to be serious about selling, look at it as a business. And for me, cleaning shoes is also a part of my time into investing into my business. And remember, first rule of like the whole thing about business is pay yourself first. So it's like you're putting in those man hours on cleaning the shoes. Is it worth it? Whenever you take out all the fees, everything, and the time you spent to clean the shoes, is it worth, the whatever money you end up with? So think about that. And also that factors into how much you're going to offer. Rule of thumb, what I personally do, and guys, remember, as I said, what works for me might not work for you, but what I personally do is I mark up that item 20 to 30%. And the reason I do that is because it gives me room to negotiate. The comps on the item, say they've sold for 30 bucks, I mark that up 20 to 30%. So that's like 30, math, 36, 39. So usually, you know, I'll set the item at like maybe like 40 bucks, 37, 40 bucks. And that's room for me to like negotiate whenever I'm sending offers. Next thing you do after you know, mark it up that 20, 30% to give yourself that room is think to yourself, what is the bottom line that this is the furthest down I'm gonna go when negotiating? A lot of people, I feel like a lot of people don't think that whenever they're selling an item. They never say, what's the lowest I'm gonna go? It's more or less like, oh, yay, I made a sale. Me, I always have a lowest I'm gonna go. So for instance, if I'm not doing like a sale of like, you know, 40% off or 30% off, if something was like 30 bucks, I'm like, the lowest I'm gonna go to make it worth my time. Even though my stuff is marked at like, you know, 37 to 39, I'm like, the lowest I'm gonna go is 25 bucks. And that gives you the range on, you know, when you're negotiating. That's your range. My rule of thumb is now whenever I'm offering, I go kind of like in between that 25 and, you know, $40 range, and that's when I send that first offer. And with that would be what, like, I might start off at like maybe send an offer of like, to make it also, you also want people to feel like they got a deal. So out of 40 bucks, if I send you an offer of like 33 bucks, it feels like you got a deal. Especially if I'm like, hey, 33 bucks and also like $5.95 shipping. Feels like you got a deal. Now if somebody comes back and is like, hey, how about the 23 bucks? And then, you know, I'll counter that and be like, you know what? Maybe 33 might be a little bit too high. Let's go down to like 30. And that's how you start bargaining until you get to that point that you're like, this is the lowest I am gonna go. So like my 25, I'm like, this is the lowest I'm gonna go. And if somebody keeps on trying to, you know, go lower, rule of thumb, unless someone is really, really annoying, because there's always going to be those really annoying, aggravating people that you just like, you know what, F this, decline this. I usually, once I hit that point, say for instance, I hit my lowest point of offering 25 bucks and somebody's like, maybe 20. I literally would counter offer back and say 25 bucks. Because that shows like, hey, this is my hard line. I'm not gonna go any farther than this. So take it or leave it. And guys, whenever you're offering, one of the main things is know your worth. 100%, guys. Know your worth whenever you're selling stuff. Do not let people lowball you, and do not lowball yourself, because it's not just you're selling the item. You're also, you know, looking at the time you put into that item. Did you clean that item? Did you get dry clean? Did you, you know, hand scrub it because it was super gross and stuff? Put those in factors of where you're gonna go, but also make sure it is reasonable. Make sure like your sentimental value doesn't overshadow the actual cost of the item and stuff. So make sure, because people on Poshmark to get a deal, so make sure it's like, hey, I'm gonna give you a deal, but at the same time, like, you know, it has to profit me. And that's why sometimes people will come in with even bundles and stuff and like want 50% off. And if I'm not running a sale, I'm like, no, because that's not worth my time for you to get such a huge discount while all the work I put in, and also like the comps and everything. But guys, this is just something that I wanted, you know, to put out there, because whenever I first started, I had problems with the whole offer thing, and I felt like some of the stuff I might have lowballed myself, or somebody might have lowballed me. But guys, if you like this video and if you like my channel, you know what to do. Hit the thing with the fingers, like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. And remember, every subscriber I get, even if you already subscribe to my channel, you're all automatically gonna be in that, you know, pot to get these Jordans. If you want to follow me on Instagram, at the Helicopter Bear. Sometimes I say funny shit, sometimes I don't. But y'all have a good day. Don't lowball yourself. Don't get scammed.